Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark Discuss podcast, where we discuss different subjects. We put our own opinions forward, I may add that. And if ever you feel that you agree or disagree with us, always please comment about it. If you disagree with us, we do like to hear why, because obviously we do our own analysis and our own understanding. So, here we go, Steve. What have you got for us now?
Hi, people. So let's get on to this one. This is interesting. MI6. We're in England now.
Yeah.
MI6, the unintelligent intelligence agency, has declared it's going to send Ukrainian mercenaries to African states where Russia is commercially doing business.
Right. Okay.
They're going to take around about 100 mercenaries, along with some SAS soldiers to train them, so that they will destroy infrastructure.
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Yeah.
And eliminate leaders, African leaders who are with Vladimir Putin, if you like, who are doing business with Vladimir Putin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Allows Russia to flourish. And they're going to start, according to the report that I've got, in the Sudan, which is always good for a gun battle.
Yeah, yeah. It's not new history. Yeah.
Right. In this month, in August, sometime in August.
Yeah.
The city is called Omdurman.
Yeah.
And Russia, for their part, said that if the UK tried to do any of this, then they will retaliate. They'll retaliate at their choosing. They'll retaliate. It won't necessarily be straight away.
No, of course not. Yeah.
It won't be a tit for tat, but
no.
they'll let things calm down a bit, and then they'll fight back. So,
yeah.
question I have, which comes leaping out of it, is there aren't all that many experienced soldiers in the Ukraine.
Well, I imagine
and there aren't all that many spare soldiers to go off to Africa.
I was going to say that well, I don't know. The Ukrainians are winning the war, so they've probably got according to the propaganda. So they've probably got a few spare people around who are unemployed soldiers. So
the Ukraine, I'm afraid it's the opposite. The NATO, that Ukraine is going to have to give up land to Russia and try and do a peace deal with Russia. So all that area of the Donbass, or the Crimea, is going to stay with Russia. Then Ukraine will stay with because the whole thing is just costing too much.
Yeah, I mean, now we're entering the phase of Cold War Part 2. Really, it's I mean, apart from the fact it really sounds like a Ken Follett type espionage novel.
But if I didn't get the story from where I got it from, then I'd think that somebody might have been making this up. But apparently, it's from a serious. It's from TASS.
Yeah.
The news agency TASS.
Yeah. Well, again, yeah. I mean, okay, we can link that in so if people want to read it. I believe a lot of these aren't always available in the UK now.
No.
So
which is why I like to go behind the Iron Curtain to
Well,
find these stories out.
the Iron Curtain doesn't exist anymore, but yeah, such.
Who's putting the Iron Curtain up now is the Europeans.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, obviously, yeah, they were moving it a lot closer as well. It is I mean, it's certainly an interesting thing. I mean, then hang on. So we're now telling the supposed enemy or the enemy what exactly our tactics are going to be in a very broad overview term.
Won't have been for the first time.
Yeah, and thank you very much. I mean, I do not believe for a minute that. Yeah, okay. We've all got this fantasy about SAS, as I was discussing with you away from the camera this week, or you guys. I imagine that if the UK and US actually wanted to do espionage or behind cover operations in Africa, they'd be doing it. They probably, I mean, we don't know. I don't think they would have Bobatov military personnel with them to do it.
Which is why it's important to understand. I'm with you on this.
Yeah.
If the SAS are involved,
they
don't want 100 ragtag soldiers to cock it up.
No, I mean
they'll do it themselves, but they need to say it's the Ukrainian soldiers who are doing the destruction.
Yeah.
Because then they can say we haven't, because basically what they're trying to do is an act of war.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an act of war, not only on Russia, but on the Sudan.
Yeah.
And if you want to start messing around with the African states and blowing up their infrastructure, there are Africans that have come across to the UK.
Yeah.
Sudanese and Somalians and.
Yeah, my mind was just going there. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, the enemy could be within.
Yeah.
The UK.
Yeah.
If they start blowing up Africa quite easily could start blowing up the UK.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, if I was to choose any, this is talking to military people and all that, if I was to choose from that region any troops I want with me, they'd be from Poland because they are good. Yeah. I'm not sure about Ukrainians. I mean, they do seem to be struggling where they are. The whole thing does seem strange. It's almost like a threat. And again, Russia are posturing back.
Well, Russia are retaliating.
Well,
they aren't posturing.
Yeah, they're retaliating. Yeah,
they're retaliating.
Yeah, and they will do it. And I mean, yes, as I say, I mean, this isn't again. We're old enough to remember the 1980s, the 70s. We remember the assassinations that happened, well, in recent times, in the past, with umbrellas along bridges, across bridges in London.
On door handles in the British countryside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it is it's not new. The Russians behave the way the Russians do. They've always behaved that way. If you read some of the history, given since the beginning of time, really, the Russians, I mean, they've been pretty bad with each other, let alone,
But the Russians aren't. I think the Russians are keeping it close to their chest because the Russians aren't saying too much. All I can think of is that now the UK needs to protect Russians' interests in Africa, because by giving this story, anything that happens, coincidence or not, in Africa that's going to prejudice Russia's trade with Africa, it's going to be the UK's fault.
Yeah, well,
and that's going to leave the UK open to a full frontal assault by Russia when Russia wants to.
Yeah, hang on. The UK or Britain managing to actually cause problems in other parts of the world. I've not realised that before. Yeah.
Right. Well.
Yeah. It is a. I mean, the story you just told me. yeah, I must admit, I've not come across me. I'm not surprised if somebody said it. I'll certainly be researching after this, and I'd advise anyone else who's listening to this to maybe do your own research. Don't take our word for it. It is a, I mean, to actually say that, yeah, we're going to go and cause mischief. I mean, it's SOE, Special Operations Executive across Europe, sort of thing.
Well, they say loose lips sink ships.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't be the first time that that somebody in the UK shot the mouth off.
Yeah. I mean, what would they call it now? I heard it the other day. Yeah, loose tweets. I can't remember what it was. They call it loose tweets now or something. Although tweets don't exist now, they're X's. But yeah, it's a very, very strange thing if somebody has said it. And I thought the idea of having covert operations was that nobody knew about them. Maybe
well, you know,
yeah,
spies, honeypots. You never know. There are loads and loads of ways of getting information.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember a few years ago when it appears that we found out that the Americans were spying on us, on the UK as well, and it's a kind of, then they found out the UK was spying on the Americans to find out what was actually going on. It does seem an incredible thing, but as we're beginning to learn now, you can't. Yeah, real life
these days.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, okay, it was, and yeah, I mean, I'm just sort of trying to think back to other things. I mean, the Falklands, when we managed to do some actions in mainland Argentina, allegedly, they blew some aircraft up on the ground. Or there were some things that happened in Argentina that were very strange to infrastructure. Yeah, I mean, I read a fictional story about this, that they managed to get some SAS guys on the ground in Argentina. But I've since read that it was actually based on some true realities. But
going off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
In Argentina.
Yeah.
Yesterday, the shops in Argentina stopped selling the products because there was a massive revaluation of the Argentine currency, and the prices went up 20% in one day. And so the shops stopped selling their products, and they're going to wait a couple of days to see what happens.
Yeah.
Seems like that the economy in Argentina is going to implode.
Tank, basically, yeah.
Sorry, coming back to the main story.
Yeah, I mean,
you.
yeah, no, okay. Yeah, it is a. I mean, yeah, you've just said it. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. When you were talking, my mind was processing what is this. Again, I'm curious because, as you know, I do somehow talk to you about these things sometimes away from the camera, as it were. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I was a guy on the ground, a military guy, I wouldn't at all be happy if my senior people were telling the enemy that I'm coming for them. Thank you very much, guys. I mean, I watched a documentary last night about actions in Afghanistan, where the Harrier was actually proving its worth. Again, it's the same sort of thing, you know. Nobody knew what was going on there. They managed to wipe out incredible amount of troops, you know, by acting secretly, not by announcing what they were doing. But again, it's where you're mentioning, bringing in the Ukrainian. I mean, we know there's some footage again in Afghanistan of people dressed up as Afghanistan troops who had very Manchurian accents. Then they sort of accidentally got caught, and they said, "Oh, they're mercenaries." Okay, yeah, we'll go with that story. Yeah,
I think that the UK have to say that, because then if when the thing goes down, they're going to say no, it was the Ukrainians that did it.
Yeah, of course.
And we didn't do it. We just trained them. You know?
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah. They just happen to be there. Yeah. We taught them how to shoot straight and how to fire these very modern, sophisticated pieces of equipment that they just happen to take on holiday with them somewhere. Yeah, it's a yeah. I know I'm being flippant about it. It is a troubling thing. Is it propaganda? Is it just people shooting their mouth off? I'm very curious. It'd be interesting to know, because now Google got their censorship tools working as well. Yeah.
Well, if it goes down, you heard it here first.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Steve's on the button. You could be making yourself a target. You know that. Sort of me by association. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we've done that one to death. I can't wait for the follow-up story about this. That's going to be really interesting. Okay. All right. Well, I think
we've exhausted this one, right? So
yeah.
moving on. In that case,
okay. I'll stop. If you enjoyed this discussion, can you please like, subscribe, and share it? Thank you.